everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Stretford End. And yes, we are back. It's been quite some time that we have been gone, but here we are, and we're ready to take on the new season. Yes, we've already played one game for the new season against Leeds, which we won at a tremendous amount, which is 5-1, and we will definitely get into that in a bit of a small, catch up to what has happened in the preseason leading up to today's game against Southampton. But without further ado, let's get into the match preview. So before we get into the match build-up, I just want to speak about the timing as from the Euros up until now. So the Euros was not that great in terms of, content, in terms of needing to find something to, speak about. But overall, the two players that stood out was Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, and we both saw exactly how they performed in that final, and unlucky to them for losing against Italy, but nevertheless it made them stronger for the new season. And we could see that in the preseason. Luke Shaw was looking fit and stronger, and so too Harry Maguire when he came back, getting a couple of goals in preseason, and also looking very, very dominant in that game against Leeds United, where he completely controlled the back line. He didn't need like he needed Lindelof's help, even though Lindelof had a very good performance. But that was a very, very good game for us. The reveal of Rafael Varane, which will be a huge asset to our team in the defensive area. And for him, partnering Harry Maguire is absolutely immense. He will literally cover all of the spaces Maguire is unable to get to. The lack of pace that Maguire has, he covers for that. And if we saw against Leeds United, Maguire looked very good in one-on-ones. He has also improved in that. Against Rafinha, there was a moment where we thought he would be beaten easily, because of Rafinha's skill and pace, but Maguire dealt with it quite well. And that kind of, breeded confidence right through the team, and you saw the end result. You saw exactly how we smashed them. And that leads us now into this very crucial week that we had in terms of training. It was a full week of training for Sancho, who I do feel and want should start today on the right-hand side, as well as Varane. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't start. It's quite a simple game for him to make his debut. Southampton is not a very, good team going forward, but they do press high. And, Varane is quite good at the ball at his feet, whereas I feel Lindelof would probably have a bit of a mistake in him against the Southampton, especially with them, trying to challenge in the air and pressing us, from the front quite hard. Ralph Hasenhüttl, doesn't hold anything back when he tells his team to go and attack and to challenge the opposing team, especially when they are playing home at St. Mary's Stadium. And we have come undone here because we haven't started well. Prime example, we look back to last season's result where we won 3-2 and Cavani had to come up from the bench to win us the game, but we didn't start too well. We were 2-0 behind in the first 20 minutes, and we know what James Ward-Prowse can do from set pieces. We know that. So we have to be prepared for it, and I think that we will be, and we are. I think that with our new set piece coach as well that we have employed, we have looked better on set pieces. It has been looked more structured, more organized, attacking and also defensively. And that is what we want to see. We want to see the team grow from strength to strength as the games go on and as seasons goes on. We know that Ole has signed a new contract, and we know that the contract was not signed for the sake of, oh, we're going to see what's going to happen. I genuinely believe that the board, Darren Fletcher and John Murtaugh, etc., believe in Ole and what he's doing. I think the players believe in him as well. That is why players like Bruno comes to the club, like Varane comes to the club. I know people say that Ole doesn't have pulling power and players don't want to play for him and for United, but we've signed the likes of Sancho, we've signed the likes of Rafael Varane, and there is probably more to come. We all know we need a defensive midfielder, but we will definitely get to that. But for today's focus is the game against Southampton, and here's just a predicted lineup that I think might start today. It will be David De Gea in goal, most definitely. Dean Henderson is still injured, and I don't think Tom Heaton has done enough to actually start games in the Premier League ahead of De Gea. The defensive area would probably be Luke Shaw on the left back, Wan-Bissaka on the right, and Maguire and Varane. Yes, I know Lindelof had a very good performance, but I feel this is the perfect game for Varane to come in and just, stake a claim for his place as the number one centre back next to Harry Maguire. In the defensive midfield area, or shall I say the midfield two, I feel I would want to have McTominay and and Donny van de Beek. Now, I understand that Pogba needs to play in a deeper role, but against Leeds, we saw how devastating he can be from the left-hand side. And I don't think he fully plays on the left-hand side. I think we play perhaps a midfield diamond, where he's just the midfielder on the left-hand side. We play with a front two. And I think that's basically what's going to happen today. When we do have the ball, when we're without the ball, we hit into the 4-2-3-1 rather than the 4-4-2 diamond. So in midfield, McTominay and Van de Beek and Bruno being the number 10, Pogba on the left. I definitely want Jadon Sancho on the right. And up front, I'll definitely go with Mason Greenwood. Martial is probably still getting his way back to his full fitness, and perhaps he would get a goal today. He loves playing in Southampton. And let's hope we can score 9 goals like we did at Old Trafford the last time we played them. And that will be really awesome. And I feel that we can definitely go out there, get the win, set the tone for the rest of the season. We saw what the teams did yesterday with Liverpool winning, City winning. So we need to definitely do the same. We need to continue to just focus on ourselves and win each game as it comes along. And that will definitely give us a stronger challenge for the season ahead, not just for the Premier League, but also the other trophies that we will be challenging for. So from that point onwards, I just want to go and move slowly into the... Welcome back, everyone, and here we are going to speak about the transfer news. Now, I know there's not been much that has been happening in the transfer window for United, but we also know the big ones as Sancho and Varane has come in, and players like Pellistri has left on loan to Alaves. James Garner is also still looking for a loan as he rejected a new contract by us, so that's kind of concerning, as we thought he would probably be our defensive midfielder for years to come. But it seems that perhaps he could find his future elsewhere and maybe come back to us after a couple of seasons. But hopefully he'll sign a contract and we will, be able to loan him out and he can come back stronger and much better and stake a claim in the first team. We know the situation with Pogba. He might be a free agent next season, but we hope that he signs a contract during the season. We know he's not going anywhere. There's no way PSG could sign him after signing Lionel Messi. And I feel that perhaps with us challenging and putting in a good performance game after game, maybe Pogba will turn his head. And if he doesn't, so be it. There's the door. We've moved on after bigger players than him that have left the club, and we definitely will do so if he should and decides to leave the club. Moving on, we have players that might be going on loan. Players like Amad Traore, who basically should not go on loan in my opinion, but because of what has happened on the right-hand side, and there might not be much place for him with Anthony Langer putting in good performances close to the end of last season and in the preseason, that might have put a bit of thought into Ole's head as to, what, I might actually want to give this boy a chance this season in some of our cup games, etc. And that kind of doesn't help Ahmad because he needs game time on a regular. We would have thought that maybe he'd be Sancho's backup, but that is not the case. I think maybe, Ole feels that he needs another loan out and perhaps to a championship club in Sheffield United who is looking at him, which will be good. I mean, players who come out of the championship tend to be really good in the Premier League because that is an acid test for a player because the championship is tough. You play a lot of games and it is really competitive, even more so competitive than the Premier League. The Premier League just has another level of quality. But nevertheless, that is your transfer news. There's not much for transfers in this week, but we'll see what happens in the latter stages of the window. And who knows, we might sign a midfield. A lot of players are looking to leave. And here at the Stretford End, you'll definitely be informed of the news when it breaks out first. But thank you very much for joining me, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday further and enjoy the game later on against Southampton. That is it from me, Sachin Johnson, and the Stretford End. Goodbye.